Good morning, children of the Most High. This is a brother Chukwemeka. First of all, I hope everyone is holding up in this hard time that these demons have imposed on us. I really hope brothers and sisters are doing fine. Some of you may remember this video I did some weeks ago, which is a continuation of the 12 tribes found in Igbo land. Yeah, this is the title, the part 2 of the 12 tribes found in Igbo land. And I discussed when I traveled to Imo State. That was done in November of last year. And in Imo State, I saw a community called Umueli, Children of Eli. And then in that same community, in I think it's Ehimemba, no? They have other community called Children of Ahia, Umululu Ahia. They also have another community there that has very biblical names. And then I came to the Bible. In the video I did, I came to the Bible in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 14, in verse 3. I read where you can see 3 of those names. In this community in Imo State, 3 villages, 3 names can be found in one verse in the Bible. And that's what I explained in that video. I said, and this is 1 Samuel chapter 14, in verse 3. It said, and Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the priest, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. Now, I did that video, and I want brothers and sisters to go and see that video because it's important that we identify ourselves in the Bible. That's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to identify any other person's tradition. We are identifying ourselves, our people. If the people in Ehimemba now, if they know that their father was the priest in Shiloh, they won't be doing all the nonsense that they're doing now today. Okay? And the funny thing is that I actually have somebody from Ehimemba that I'm working with now. He's a very good friend of mine. I see him almost every day. And when I discussed this with him, he even went into details of what the priests and DBS used to do in their community every day. This is a traditional minded person. He doesn't go to church and all those stuff. But he's very traditional minded. He even went into details. He didn't even know the biblical connection of these practices. But when I told him that, he went into details, and maybe one day I'll do a video. And then you should go there in those communities. A number of families are called and named Anyangu in that community. That's where you see the root of the worship of the Most High. It's still there, brothers and sisters. Look, I believe that Imo State will hold the code to us cracking the original worship of the Most High. I do believe that. Like I mentioned in one of my videos, Imo State is a confluence of a lot of things. The old and the new, they come together in Imo State. And I want to encourage brothers and sisters who are from Imo State to really go back into your tradition, look into it. It's only in Imo State, mostly in Imo State, not only anyway. That's why you see people with the better name Anyangu. That's why you see people with the better name Iwanyangu. This have to do with ancient worship of the Most High. I've said it in my last video. If you look at the brothers and sisters, my last video, people believe that the Most High lives in the sun, and that's why they bear names that have to do with the Most High in the sun. I believe that if we do a thorough research in Imo State, we'll be able to crack this code that we have lost for generations. And it's also sad that in Imo State, like I said, it's a confluence of a lot of things. You also have a lot of things coming together. There are those who worship as the one this, Obanje this, Obanje that. Well, I've said this before. All these marine spirits, they came in from Europe. It's not as Christianity. It's the Europeans that brought it here. Okay, they are not African practices. Anyway, I mentioned I stated these communities and I put. You can see the name here. You can see the name Eli. They are all children of Eli. And in that village, the name of the village is called Umu Eli, children of Eli. Just as the Bible said it here, they are all these people are sons of Eli. Now, somebody wrote me a mail and he said he wants to be kind enough not to put a comment in my video, not to rain on my party, as he put it, and I appreciate that. But he said that this is pronounced Eli, not Eli. Of course, I've been a Christian for a while, so I know that most Christians pronounce this Eli. Again, Eli, Eli, electronic lie, yes. This is how they deceive you. They pronounce it in such a way that you will not recognize it. Brothers and sisters, this is not pronounced Eli, it's pronounced Eli. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to use one of those Jewish imposters who stole our identity to prove it to you today. The pronunciation of this word is not Eli. In Hebrew, let me see if I can teach a little bit of linguistics here. In the biblical nomenclature, right? If something is pronounced I, it's actually Aya, which is the name, the biblical interpretation of the name of God. For instance, we say Elijah, okay, Elijah. The actual pronunciation is actually Eliah, Eliah. That is how the things are pronounced. There's no such thing as I. I don't know how to explain it. I hope I'm making sense. But when you see I in the Bible, which is AIH, it's actually a reference to the name of the Most High, which is Aya. That's what it is. And I give an example now of Elijah or Elijah. It's the actual pronunciation is Eli here, Eli Aya. That's the real pronunciation. This is not Eli. This is Eli. But don't take my word for it. Let me show you this advert that is run by one of those Jewish Zionist agents that go to the internet and deceive Christians. I'm not referencing this so that brothers and sisters will go and follow this man. Never. He is just a Zionist agent. There are very many of them that have penetrated the Christian church, and they use that to push people to favor Israeli political policies, which is draconian. Those of you who have done research on these people know that these are the people under Elijah Nagari. These are the people that are killing us. These are people behind the calamity. These are people behind the red zone I've been talking about. They are the ones doing it. Okay, so I'm not pushing anybody here to go and follow this man, but sometimes the Most High uses even those who have stolen from you to prove your identity. And we've used that in the past. Okay, we've used what these people who have hijacked our identity. We've used it to prove that. Today I'm going to use it to prove that this word here, Eli, is actually pronounced Eli. It's not pronounced Eli. Let's hear what the man has to say.
My name is Dr. Eli Lizorkin Eisenberg, and I am here to invite.
I don't care what you're here for, my friend. So, do you guys hear that? Let's have it again, and I hope this is recorded. It says,
My name is Dr. Eli Lizorkin Eisenberg, and I am here to.
His name is Dr. Eli Lizorkin Eisenberg. He pronounced it Eli. Okay, so let's recap what I said here. In that video, and I recommend brothers and sisters go and see that video again, which is the title of the video is this: The 12 Tribes Found in Igbo Land Part 2. And I used the particular location in Imo State as an example, and that's somewhere in the Himemba, no? And in that community, you see a village that is called Umu Ahia or Umululu Ahia. So the name Ahia is right there in that community. And I mentioned that if you go to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 14, in verse 3, there are names that are there in that same village. Those names are there. And it says that, like in the Bible, it says that an Ahia, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. In that community, in Ehimemba, there's a community that's called Umueli, children of Eli. All these people I mentioned, all Umululu are here. The other one I mentioned in that video, they are all related to this Umueli. They're all in the same community anyway. They're all in the same area. And in the Bible, it states clearly that they are all children of Eli, the lost priest in Shiloh. This person that sent me the mail, he now said that this is not Eli, that is Eli. And I have shown you clearly now that even the Jewish people still pronounce it Eli. There's no such thing as Eli. It doesn't exist. It's Eli. Even the Jewish people to this very day still pronounce it Eli. Okay, so speaking about Imo State, and I've said earlier that Imo State is basically the solution to us cracking the code of the true biblical worship in Igbo land, based on what I have seen. Uh, let's. I have a child that is a map fanatic. Whenever I give this child my phone, what this child will do is just to go through Google Map, looking at different maps of different locations. So one day, this child gave me back my phone, and this was what the child was looking at on the map. It was the map of Owerri in Imo State. You know, my child is like 5 years old, so he's still young. But he was looking at this map of Owerri in Imo State, and when I saw it, the first thing that caught my eye was this Akabo, a village called Akabo in the northern part of Owerri in Imo State. Now, remember, this Akabo is not very far from the where we were talking about this Ehimembano we were talking about. Yeah, Ehimembano is over here. So where you have the Umueli and Umulolu are here, all of them here. And right here you have a community that's called Akabo. And some of you may have heard me say that the patterns of migration in Igbo land is anti-clockwise. So migration goes this direction in Igbo land. Could it be? Now this name Akabo kind of piqued my interest, because if you go back to the Bible, let's go back to the Bible in 1 Samuel chapter 14 in verse 3. It says, and Ahiah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother. This name Ichabod sounds very similar to the name Akabo. Could it be, brothers and sisters, and again I'm just imagining here, could it be that the interpreters of the Bible, whoever interpreted Ichabod, actually interpreted it from Akabo? Could it be? Could it be that the people in Akabo, in the northern part of Owerri, and the people of Ehimembano are related in any way? Maybe if I'm from these communities, maybe it's one of the questions I'll ask the elders. Maybe it's one of the questions I'll ask the elders, because there are elders who can, point this out, if such a relationship exists or not. Maybe it's one of the things I'll ask. Even if it's not Ehimembano, maybe it's Isialambano, because they're all the same thing. Could it be that there's a relationship that could be tied between Akabo and the Mbano clans? And could that relationship be explained in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 14, where he mentioned that Ahiah and Akabo are all sons of Eli, the priest in Shiloh? Again, this is how we identify ourselves in the Bible. I want to put it out here because I didn't want to reply to this brother. I hope he's a brother that sent the mail. I wanted everybody to see it, because do not be bothered by how the English people are changing pronunciation. Okay, when the English people were navigating the River Niger, they were searching for one people and one people only, and that are the Hebrews. Could it be that Ichabod, as we see in the Bible, is actually the name Akabo interpreted by the British? As I said, when the British came here, when they navigating the River Niger, Mungo Park and all those other idiots that came here, they were looking for the Hebrews. They were looking for us. Where are they? The Hebrews. Because the leaders of the British Empire, Queen Elizabeth and her family members, these people are Jewish. They are not English. They are Jewish. They stole our identity. They have to know where we are, what we know and what we don't know, what we remember and what we don't remember. That is why when they came here, they were specifically interested in the Igbos and the Igbos alone. Not only for slave trade, but for detailed studies. They founded what they call the Church Missionary Society or CMS, like we have it in Lagos. That's CMS, right? That's the Church Missionary Society. And their primary objective was to study the Igbos and their culture, to know what we remember about in the biblical times and what we don't. People like Ajayi Crowther, who was a Yoruba man, the first Yoruba man to write a book, he was working for the CMS. For the first few books he wrote was about the Igbos. Even though he is Yoruba, when he was working for the CMS, the only things he wrote about was about the Igbos, because that's what they were interested in knowing. Didn't care about whatever he has to write about Yoruba. In fact, Ajayi Crowther started writing about Yoruba after he had stopped working for the CMS. When he was now a freelance preacher going up and down, that's when he started writing about Yoruba culture. And he never wrote anything about Yoruba and the biblical culture. So you need to understand what these people came here to do. They were looking for you. What do you remember about your past? What do you know? What do you remember about your biblical time? They're looking for what made us tick. That's how they stole our priests, killed them, massacred them, stole our items of worship. They sent out missionaries, mercenaries, who are the same as missionaries anyway, into our communities to kidnap our children, stole items of worship. Go and ask your grandmother. When they tell you that slavery stopped in 1866, that's a lie. Slavery continued all the way up to 1950. Go and ask your grandmother or your grandfather. These people were still stealing our children all the way up to the 1950s. If you don't know history, you still believe all this nonsense that they tell you. And it's still happening today. I mean, look at what happened in 2001 when they demolished the building in New York, and they're telling you it's an aeroplane that's made of aluminium that brought it down. And people will believe that. Tomorrow they'll write it in textbooks, and people will believe. How can something made of aluminium bring down something made of steel? It's not possible. But these people will look you in the face and tell you that the sky is green. When you can see it clearly that the sky is white and blue. They'll tell you clearly that it's green. Anyway, this is how we identify ourselves in the Bible. And I'm extremely, I thank God for Imo State, honestly speaking. I wish I was from Imo State. Because there are communities in Imo State that you just look at the names and you're like, my God, this is biblical. This is clearly biblical. We've talked about Ahira, of children of Benjamin, before. You can see that clearly here. You can see that clearly here. All these are in Imo State. So I believe that if we keep doing research with our ancients of days, with our older ones, before they all die off, we will be able to crack the code of the true worship of our God in our land. I strongly believe that, brothers and sisters. Anyway, I wanted to point this out here. I hope this video is not too long, but it's important. There are some things that need to be said, and there are some things that our children need to know. May the Most High bless you. Salam.